Good evening and welcome to Stortry Village Academy's Parent Information Evening for the Sixth Form. The purpose of this evening is just to introduce you to some of the aspects of Sixth Form life that are a bit different from when children were in Year 7 to 11. So, just to start off, I thought I'd introduce who the Oakhouse Team are. I am Mr Hill, the Head of Sixth Form. In a moment you'll see Miss Hay, the Deputy Head of Sixth Form, and Hayley, our Sixth Form Advisor. We also have a dedicated team of Oak tutors here to help us. And our motto, our unofficial motto, is Mighty Oaks from Little Acorns Grow, which is an Old English proverb. And the objective there is that we're taking the little acorns of Year 7 and turning them into mighty oaks by the time they leave us in the Sixth Form. Now, the purpose of the evening today is really to talk through the role of the parent and the role you have in your child's Sixth Form education. So, we just want to emphasise that there's two-way communication. Please do tell us if you have concerns about your child's progress or well-being or any of that. We want to hear about that, and equally we'll communicate with you if we feel we need to. Even if they don't realise it, and often they don't, the children do still need the support of their parents, and ultimately we are all working towards the same goal, which is a well-rounded young person with a high quality and suitable career path for them. Now, to help them get there, I've got a few details to go through now, one of which is homework. So, at school, at main school, students had 25 lessons per week. And at Sixth Form, students will have only about 15 lessons per week. That's because they have 10 study periods. That's because they have a lot of homework to do, a lot of work outside of the class. Homework is set by the teacher with a clear deadline. Okay, it's a specific point at which it has to be handed in. Students do, however, have to engage in something new to Sixth Form that they haven't had to engage in Year 7 to 11, called independent study. Okay? This helps them to do well and to concrete their learning. It's sort of like ongoing revision to help them to commit their learning to their long-term memory. Some suggestions for how they might do that are mind maps, Cornell notes, flashcards, practice exam questions, and we'll go over lots of this with the students when they're in the Sixth Form. But the purpose of me telling you this is because at no point will students have no work to do in Sixth Form. There is always work to be done. At any point that your child isn't handing in work or is behind on work, we would communicate with you to ask you to help us keep them on track and making adequate progress. Now that brings us on to our behaviour policy next. So there are a couple of points at which we might speak to you about their behaviour. This could be about their conduct, but also about their workload and whether or not they're managing their workload sufficiently. So teachers and subject leaders might contact you to let you know of their concerns in a particular subject, but then they might come onto intervention with myself or Miss Hay, the Deputy Head of Sixth Form, and in that case we would be in contact with you as well. I would like to mention uniform as well. There is a black Stortry Sixth Form top. Students are required to wear a white collared top underneath that, smart plain black trousers or a knee-length skirt, but not jeans or leggings please, as well as smart plain black footwear that's not canvas or trainers. And one of the reasons that we've designed this uniform is because taking off the Stortry hoodie, they could go to a job interview wearing the uniform that they wear on a daily basis. So that's one of the reasons we've designed it in that way. The clothes must be suitable for a business interview. Okay, I'm now going to hand over to Hayley, who is our Sixth Form Advisor, who's going to speak a little bit about our attendance process.
Hello, my name's Hayley Waitman, but I'm known as Hayley in the Sixth Form, and my email's on the screen there if you want to get in touch with me directly. The main thing that I do is attendance and absences for the Sixth Form. You're full-time students in the Sixth Form, so attendance is compulsory. If you're going to have an absence and you know about it ahead of time, we do have a form that we need the teacher of the lesson you're missing to fill in and parents to sign. So if you could please always make sure that you sign that form for a known absence, that would be great. The other really important thing to note is the email address here, which is svaoakhouse@stortryva.org. Please, if there's an unknown absence, we need to get an email first thing in the morning, hopefully before 8:30 if you can manage that. If it's after that, we still need to know. It's really important for safeguarding reasons that we know why a student isn't here. If a student themselves emails us, we do need them to copy parents in, because we have to know that you know that they're not at school. So that is really, really important. If they sign out in the day at break or lunchtime, there's a signing out book. Again, for fire safety reasons and safeguarding, we do need to know who is on site, so they always need to sign in and out. For study periods, year 12 have to stay in school all day up until January. If they're on, on task for everything, then we will allow them to go off site, again signing in and out. The only exception is if the first lesson of the day is period 5, they are allowed to miss registration because it is quite a long time until the first lesson starts at 2 o'clock. Apart from that, we do need year 12 to be on site. So the main take home is please email that address if there's any absences. I'll now hand you over to Miss Hen.
Hello, I am going to talk with you about what's different at sixth form. So sixth form is very different from the main school. So first of all, you might have much smaller class sizes. At Key Stage 4, you're used to about 30 in a class, whereas the average at sixth form is only about 10, okay, 10, 11. You also get a sixth form centre cafe, so you'll get to know Tracy really well. She's a key member of the team. You can fuel yourself with hot chocolate throughout the day. You get study periods, which is what Mr. Hill mentioned earlier. So in that time you can use it to either go to the cafe, get some work done, because you will be set lots of work in sixth form. You also have much more independence and responsibility, okay? You're almost adults in the sixth form, so we like to treat you that way. The best thing I think about sixth form is you are doing the subjects that you choose. Okay, so no longer do you have a curriculum where you are given subjects that you have to study. You can pick your favourite subjects to study over the 2 years. We also pay a really big focus on what are you going to do once you leave us. So we want to get you really well prepared, have lots of knowledge for whether you want to go to World of Work, you want to get an apprenticeship, or whether you want to go to university. So, registration. Registration is another key part of the sixth form, and this is where we cover our PSHE topics. So on Monday we've got Motivation Mondays. We've got nice cheesy names for each of the days. So Motivation Monday is you are doing a news quiz. We have a nice competition going on between all of the groups in the school, in the sixth form, all of the different tutor groups, and it is a quiz on current affairs. On Tuesdays, we've got Target Tuesdays. That is when we look at future plans. We also look at things like car insurance, renting, mortgages. So it's kind of setting students up for their future life. Wellbeing Wednesday, we look at things like drugs, alcohol, safe driving. So all of those things that as students are getting older, making them prepared for the world. Thursdays is thought-provoking Thursdays, so that's really nice. We all come together in the hall and have an assembly as a sixth form. On Fridays is Fitness Fridays, so we're looking at mental health and physical health on Fridays. Sometimes we go for a walk around the village, sometimes we do some sporting activities in form time. So registration is compulsory at sixth form, but we try to make it something which is that students want to turn up for. Academic mentoring. So you had academic mentoring in main school, that continues at sixth form, and we check in with you on terms of how you're doing academically, but also your well-being, how are things going. We also look at, okay, so what plans do you have for the future? Is there anything we can do to help support you get there? So you'll have the academic mentoring with your form tutor. Okay. Enrichment. So we offer enrichment at sixth form, and this is so it gives you something extra as a person, okay? So it's making you this well-rounded, highly employable young person. So we've got qualification options and non-qualification options. In year 12, we want you to pick a qualification option and a non-qualification option, and all of the examples of what you can do are on the board. If you are in year 13, then we would like you to do 2 hours of enrichment per week, and you can pick which ones you want to do. This is fantastic for if you're applying for uni and apprenticeships, because you'll be applying with the same grades as everybody else, the offer grades for that course or apprenticeship. This gives you something extra to add because you get a lot of qualities and skills from doing the enrichment option. So we're a big fan of enrichment at sixth form. Post-18 destinations. So this 2 years of sixth form is really setting you up for what are you going to do once you leave sixth form. And we run lots of events to help you decide on that. So in March of year 12, that's when we kick off the UCAS application process and the apprenticeship application process. In the summer of year 12, we've got a futures day, so you have a timetable for the day. We're talking about lots of different things you can do for the future. We start helping you write your personal statement for university, researching different opportunities. And in year 13, so in September of year 13, that is when we really focus on your personal statements for university. Deadline for UCAS tends to be earlier than apprenticeships, so that is when we really get started on personal statements and finalise them. We like to have those sent off by the end of November. Start researching early is the key, okay? 2 years of sixth form, it's not even a full 2 years, goes really quickly. So start researching early, but we give you lots of opportunities to do that. Okay, you will have end of year exams. So in year 12, you've got end of year exams in June. Those will help us to decide your predicted grade for apprenticeships and university. You will then, once you finish those exams, you start your year 13 studies. Year 13, you will have your final proper exams, unfortunately in June. Once you've done those, you are then on your way to the next stage of life. It is vital that students embed knowledge along the way. Please do not leave all of your revision till the very last minute. Okay, revise as you're going along. To do that, make sure you're making use of those 10 free study periods that you have per week. Okay, so finally, we support students along the whole process. We've been very successful in the past of getting students to where they need to be. Parents, guardians, you play a really big role in this. So if you do have any questions or concerns along the way, please do not hesitate to contact myself or Mr. Hill with any questions that you may have, or Hayley, and Mr. Hill and my email address is on the board. Thank you very much.